Hiya, I'm going to show you this makeup look from scratch today. Because the weather's that bit warmer, today I'm going to focus on getting your makeup to last in a really hot or sweaty environment. Now, one of the things I'd really point out is that, you know, if your makeup is coming off or disappearing, or, you know, you're melting and you can't see it halfway through the day, that isn't a reflection on you or your products or anything like that. It's just what happens in the warm weather. But hopefully a few little tips and tricks here will help you to get your makeup to last that little bit longer. As always, everything I've used is listed in the description of the video, so if you click to make it full screen, the title will come up along the top. Click the arrow next to it and a full list of everything will drop down. Okay, just before I start doing any makeup, it's obviously melting at the moment, which is lovely. But if you've had your hair done or you want to keep your hair nice, I'd say just keep some of those clips in your bag when you're out and about. And if it's a particularly hot day, just clip your hair off your face. These particular clips, you can get them anywhere online nice and cheap, but they're made in such a way that they won't leave a kink in your hair. So definitely keep that in mind if you find that your hair is really hot on your face. And then one of the questions I had this week, Joanne, you were asking for how would you adapt your foundation or your routine if you're going to a hot country or even just enjoying the weather that we have here. And I think this is a really good opportunity to pick your foundation really carefully and look for something specifically for this weather. Now, one of the foundations that I didn't know was waterproof until this week is MAC Face and Body. I've got two shades here that I'm kind of in between, so I'm going to mix a little bit of two. But basically, you know, whether it's for the warm weather, whether it's that you're experiencing hot flushes, whether you're naturally just one of those people that's always a bit warmer, if you go for something waterproof, then even as your skin gets hot through the day, you've given yourself a really good chance of your makeup lasting that bit longer. I'm just going to mix this in with the bottom of a makeup brush, and I'm going to use a sponge with this today. Now, what I would say is that every foundation is different and everyone has their own techniques or ways of making something work, but Face and Body, I think, looks especially nice when you've really worked it into the skin. And I find myself patting it in a lot. Do you know what? I'm going to stop myself there. That is actually could be a blooper. You can't even really see anything's gone on. Didn't I say that yesterday? And the sponge just soaked it all up. So back to the drawing board. We're going to start this again. Okay, I'm back. I've patted this in all over. We seem to have another dilemma on our hands in that I've mixed myself a really warm foundation colour, but do you know what? I'm not on an operating table saving someone's life, am I? I think we'll all be okay that my foundation is a bit warmer than maybe my complexion today. Okay, so Face and Body is on. Now that that's waterproof, you can just kind of feel reassured that if you're really sweaty or hot or anything through the day, you've already given your skin a chance at kind of, you know, lasting as well as it can. Now, one of the big things I would say to you, I'm just cleaning the excess off my hands. One of the big things I would say to you is if you start to get sweaty and you want to take control of it, don't rub with a tissue. Place a tissue on and just gently let it absorb the sweat. And that way you'll hopefully lift any excess moisture without rubbing or disrupting any of the makeup underneath. Now, the next thing that came up in terms of temperature was which would I prefer out of powders or setting sprays? And Amy, you'd asked me kind of to define the difference between the two. Personally, I usually use a powder. I love the It Cosmetics by Pores powder. Laura Mercier translucent powder is great. If you want one on a budget, the Peaches setting powder is brilliant. What I would say is powder gives you that kind of instant control and diffusion over any texture. So if I just show you this on my sides of the nose, for example, it will really instantly give you this velvety finish. However, some people don't like the feel of a powder. You might be the kind of person that likes a really luminous skin and you don't want to add powder, but you still want your makeup to last. in which case you're going to get on really well with a setting spray. The one I personally use the most, if I'm going to use one, is the Your Skin But Better setting spray from It Cosmetics. And one of the reasons why I always recommend this one is, first of all, full disclaimer, if you're not used to my videos, I am their UK and Ireland brand ambassador. This is my 4th year with them, but the products are lovely, and so I do talk about them an awful lot. What I like about this one is that it's designed to give you up to 16 hours of wear on your makeup, but it's predominantly doing that with a kind of skincare base. So you've got hyaluronic acid in here, aloe, things that are going to make your makeup look really fresh, as well as setting it in, and it smells like coconut. It's lovely. However, one of the ones that I had a look at today, so it was Beverly, I think. Yeah, Beverly, you wanted something that would particularly withstand heat. I had a little look at all of my setting sprays and just read up a bit about them. Now, the Urban Decay All Nighter, to me, was kind of the holy grail skincare setting, makeup setting spray that everybody loved. I remember when I worked at Selfridges, we couldn't, give enough of these out. Everyone came in looking for it. But when I Googled it, they have a patented temperature control technology, and it is proven to reduce the temperature of your makeup. So that in mind, I'm going to use this one today. And one thing I would say to you as well is, usually I would have like a lot of bronze around the hairline, and I'd be kind of using all of these different things. I would say try and get a perfect match to your complexion and don't put as much around the forehead. And I know you might be thinking, are you joking? Of course you're going to be getting a perfect match to your complexion. But actually, someone like me, I've spoken to you about this before, because I've got a lot of redness, I go a lot warmer with my foundation because I think it gives me more coverage over the redness personally. So you might be like that, you might tend to go a bit warmer. Whatever you're wearing, I would say keep this hairline as natural as possible, because this is where you're going to get a lot of moisture on the face. This is where your makeup's going to disappear, and you don't want like a golden complexion and then a cooler hairline, which, as we saw a minute ago, I would obviously have if I wore this makeup out today. But as always, I'm doing my makeup to make a video, and we'll probably take it off not long after I've pressed stop. But anyway, quick little note on complexion. I'm going to use, let me check the name of these, On The Go Blush by Pixie. These are so pretty. I've actually seen them on TikTok really getting a bit of momentum, and it's great because these aren't new, they've been around for a long time. But basically this is more of a jelly consistency, and so on one hand you might be thinking, well, the whole point is that I want my makeup to last and you're putting this creamy thing on. However, that just adds such luminosity, but because it's more of a gel, it's not really going to run around or, disappear. It's that texture that will kind of stay where you've put it. Those On The Go blushes are just, if you want to add like a pop of radiance, they're lovely. That one is the shade Juicy, but you can't go wrong with anything from Pixie, to be honest. A lovely, lovely brand. Now, I'm just going to speed along and put my eyebrows on. I'm just going to powder a little bit more of the side of the face and over the eyes. I'm right in front of the window and the sun keeps going in and out. And isn't it fascinating, like how different your makeup can look in the different lights? But anyway, just to completely jump from topic to topic today, the next thing I want to talk about is how to get your eyeshadow to stop printing. Bex, you'd said to me when you use shadow as like a liner shape, it tends to print on the upper lids. And one of the main reasons this can happen is because of excess oil on the lids, and that's something that loads of people have, me included. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of eyeshadow primer. This one is also from Urban Decay. And I'm going to prime the entire eyelid and then powder it before I go in with anything else. And working in that way means that I seal in any moisture, and then not only have the shadows got something to stick to, but hopefully we will control that moisture through the day and nothing will print or move. And one thing I would always be really keen to remind you of is that these things happen to everyone, because it's just the nature of, how these things will develop through the day. And if you're thinking, oh gosh, my eyeshadow's creasing or my T-zone is becoming oily or whatever it might be, It's nothing to do with you or your makeup skills or your products. This would happen if you used like a million gajillion pound eyeshadow palette or you had a top makeup artist. It's just the way our skins work, and I think the best thing that we can do, pardon me, is put the steps in place to prevent it happening so quickly so that you get a few more hours for your special occasion before things start to move. Now, Luna, you had asked me about deep set eyes and some ways to work with them. And one of the things that I'd love to show you is that you can really play up this underneath space. I feel like we always default for the top of the eyes, but if we use the underneath as well, we've got loads of things to play with. So I'm going to use this. I've not used it before. It's a Male Order palette from the Balm. And I'm just going to use a few of these little colours. Now, I know I'm just such a broken record. I'm going to start with a shade called Jackpot, which you don't need to ask if you've been here a while, is obviously a soft brown. Okay, I've put loads of that on. I'm just going to keep this in and show you that if you ever put something on and it looks like this, there's usually a way around it and we can keep blending it out. Okay, now I'm taking this golden shade right the way across the lids. This has just enough peach in it to kind of bring out the blues in my eyes. So if you have a little look on a colour wheel and see what the complementary colour would be to your eye colour and add a tiny touch of that in with your shadow, regardless of your eye shape, you're bringing out your eye colour, which will always look really lovely in your makeup. Now, that said, I really don't want you to misconstrue that as a set of rules or you have to do your makeup in this way or must wear these colours. But it's just a really helpful tip if you want to make the most of the nice parts of your eyes that you like, and if you really like your colour and want to make it pop a bit more, it's a great way to do it. I'm also going to add a really hearty dose of highlighter to the inner corners of the eyes. That will really help to brighten them. And then I'm going to take some of that gold colour under the blues of the eyes as well. And then I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Balm Noir mascara. I worked with them on the launch of this mascara, and basically it's just a really lovely, quite different formula. This is their first balm in mascara, and it just goes on with this really buttery finish. And crucially, one of the reasons why I really like it is it's so easy to remove. So in particular, I feel like if you don't want to spend all night getting your makeup off, or maybe you've got slightly more sensitive eyes, it's just really, really easy at the end of the day to get your face off. Now, to finish off, I'm going to use a little touch of Sexy Sienna from Charlotte Tilbury. And then last but by no means least, if you're really hot or you're out in a hot climate and you've got your makeup on, you've put your sun cream on in the morning, but then how are you going to top up your sun cream if you've already got makeup on? Lots of brands do mists. This one is from Kate Somerville. And literally every couple of hours when you're outdoors, like, has that made any difference to my makeup? Absolutely not. But it just means that you're topping up your SPF through the day. Can't get the lid on that one. Maybe I'll do that off camera. So many brands do those. You can get, I'm sure Garnier have one, but there's definitely, I've seen high street options in Boots. The Kate Somerville one is lovely. So that's a really good alternative if you want to keep your skin grey and not disrupt your makeup. But there you are. I really hope it was helpful, and as always, please feel free to leave me any comments or suggestions of videos you'd like to see. I love having that, to be honest. It's a bit of a framework to work off, so always feel free to ask. But thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.